What's up, college football fans? Michael Johnston here from In The RedZone, and we have kind of been gone for a little while. Came back and live streamed a little bit a week or so ago. Audio wasn't too good on that, so let's do a straight upload video and just kind of talk about the latest with college football. Where are we at? Where are we going? Are we going to have college football? A week or two ago, I wasn't sure we were going to, but now I think it's 100% certain that we're going to have college football. Now, it may not be the college football that we're used to, and it's looking like it possibly could be a 10-game regular season. Whatever happens, as long as we get it back, that's the main thing. The latest right now, as of May 17th, is that, a couple things have happened. So the NCAA comes out with a plan that says this is what has to happen. It's a multi-step plan. But the reality is, when it comes to college football, the NCAA really doesn't have any say-so. And that's kind of what we're seeing with some of the conferences saying, you know what, NCAA, we don't really care what your plan is. We're getting back on campus and we're going to start practicing. There have been several schools that are targeting June 1st to try to get back on the field, at least in weightlifting, things like that. You had SEC is really one of them that's jumping out there, really wanting to get back on the field. And then you had Oklahoma's head coach Lincoln Riley come out and kind of criticize that a little bit. Now, he did since then try to walk his comments back a little bit, but he's basically saying, like, we have all this time. Why are we rushing this? Let's take the time. Let's don't hurry back, and some kids get sick, yada, 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 things like that. The truth is, for me personally, I have never, this whole time, believed in this coronavirus hype. Now, listen, I'm not trying to create a problem. I'm not trying to call anybody out or saying that if you believe differently than me that you're wrong. I'm not saying that, but I'm going to give you my opinion. I have felt from the get-go that this whole thing has just been overblown and overhyped. Here in Oklahoma, we have about 5,000 cases total in a state of about 3.5 to 4 million people. So you're talking about less than 1% that got sick, and I don't even think we've eclipsed 300 deaths so far. Obviously, if you know somebody who got this virus, or you know somebody who died from this virus, then those words don't mean anything to you, because it is tragic for you. But we've got to keep in perspective that a lot of people die every year from the flu as well. So again, I don't feel like it's as big a threat or an issue as what they're making it out to be at the national level. But again, it's just my opinion, and it doesn't mean anything. I get that. Who am I, right? Who cares? But I will say this. Read an article just before I got in front of the camera, a Reuters article that's on Yahoo's main page as of right now. And it says that the health experts, especially those in the White House, are a little bit perplexed, because what they're seeing is that several states have reopened. They've opened beaches, they've opened bars, they've opened restaurants. Here in Oklahoma, we're one of them. And what they're seeing is they're not seeing a spike in COVID-19 or coronavirus in places that have reopened. Where they are seeing a spike is in the places that are still shut down. Now, listen, I know we're here to talk sports, but briefly, let's talk about this for a second. Why is the flu so bad every year? Forget coronavirus. Why is the flu so bad every year? The flu gets bad during the winter, and it doesn't get bad because it's cold outside. It gets bad because when it gets cold outside, people go inside, and nobody's outside doing anything. So you're closer together by the fact we want to stay warm. It's easier for a virus to spread. So when you keep people shut in, now they're still getting deliveries. They're using Uber Eats and things like that, and they're having groceries delivered to their front porch. If it's on the bag and you bring it into the house and you got 6 people that's all quarantined in a house, all 6 people are going to get it because you're confined in a space. And what we do know is that sunlight will kill this thing. As the summer approaches and as it gets warmer, it was a beautiful day today in Oklahoma City. Get outside. You got to get outside. I mean, you got to, that's the best way to spread out and really keep it from contact or contracting it, is to be outside. So for me, this all comes around to the sports aspect of we just got to get everything open. We got to get everything open. We got to get people out there. We now know that a large percentage of people who do get the virus will never have symptoms, will never get really sick. And it is that herd mentality, that herd immunity is what's going to eventually stop this thing. It's not staying shut in. So we need to get sports back. We need to put fans back in the stands, maybe not completely full stadiums, but we need to get back to some normal here. I see people wearing these cloth masks everywhere. I don't wear one. I don't wear a mask. I don't, because unless it's the N95 mask, it's useless. The cotton, the material for a cloth face mask won't stop a virus going in or out. So they're useless in my opinion. So again, all that is my opinion. So that being said, I don't agree with Lincoln Riley about let's wait. I don't believe that at all. I think we need to get students back on campus. We need to get players back on campus. We need to start practicing, and we need to get the season rolling. Because again, once we get into those winter months when it starts getting cold, is when we might see another spike and people getting sick. So in my opinion, not only is it a good idea to shorten the season to 10 games, I think they really need to get the playoffs and the championship in before January. I think January is a key there, because before the end of December, we need to get it all finished. We need to crown a champion. So that's where I'm at as far as this coronavirus goes. So I'm happy to see. Now from a perspective here, the reality is there's so many of these colleges that they wouldn't have entire athletic departments if they didn't have football to bring in the money. So it is a money thing. And now we're starting to see some of the commissioners of the big conferences kind of say, NCAA, you really don't have much of a say here. So we're going to get back at it. So I'm happy about that. I hope it happens. I think it would be absolutely detrimental to a lot of people if we didn't have college football this year. So that's where I'm at on that. Now let's talk about recently. Now since the last XFL preview predictions video I did, there has been a lot has changed in college football. There's been a lot of transfers. There's been a lot of just a lot of things happen. So I can't go over everything. Obviously, you guys, if you follow college football, you know what's been happening. So anyway, Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss is going to be a big talking point this year. Les Miles, season 2 at Kansas. But recently, so let's just talk recent, because that's kind of what matters. Ola Tagovailoa, sorry if I messed up the name, Tua's brother, transferred from Alabama. He has landed at Maryland, so he's going to go to Maryland. Everybody had suspected he would follow the family to Florida and probably end up at Miami or Florida State or somewhere. Didn't happen. He's going to be a Terrapin, so congratulations to him. I hope he has a lot of success there. The Oklahoma Sooners get the #1 wide receiver in the 2021 class, Mario Williams, who comes again from Florida. Tremendous athlete. Now, you know what? A lot can happen between now and then, because we do see people commit and then we see people flip at the last minute. So I've always said it doesn't mean anything until they've signed their name and they're committed. So we'll have to, we're going to watch that situation, see if he sticks with Oklahoma. But, with Spencer Rattler coming in as the presumptive starter for Oklahoma, they're going to throw the ball around a lot. It's really a place where, top recruits at wide receiver want to be. So that they got that going on. And on the flip side of that, Oklahoma's really having a problem recruiting running backs. And a lot of it is just last year with Jalen Hurts and the way they ran the ball so much. He ran the ball so much. The running backs were kind of really, for the most part, left out of the system last year. And, recruits see that and they're like, I don't want to go there if you're not going to run the ball. And so you had Trey Sermon has transferred out of Oklahoma. He is now at Ohio State. I don't know how that's going to work out for him. I know he's a tremendous athlete, but, J.K. Dobbins left for the NFL. But Master Teague, boy, that kid, he is something else. And he is now, I would believe, would be the presumptive starter at running back for the Buckeyes. And now you have Trey Sermon as maybe a split role or a backup role. I don't think he'll split even carries with Master Teague. I think Master Teague has earned the position. So he's probably going to be maybe 10 carries, 8 carries a game kind of guy for Trey Sermon. is that really what he wants? Because wasn't a lot left at Oklahoma when he left, so I don't know if that was a good move for him or not. But time will tell. As a Buckeye fan, we'll take more guys the merrier, I guess. So the other big talker that hasn't happened yet, but I believe is very likely to happen, is it's possible with college football that there might be one or two states where the colleges in that state don't play football this year. California being the main one. I mean, with what they're dealing with there. So that brings in USC, brings in Cal, Stanford. So what happens with those schools? Well, Alabama is set to play USC down in Dallas, Texas, Arlington, Texas, in Jerry's World for the first game of the season. Well, that's in limbo now because we don't know if USC is going to have a team or if they're going to play football this year. So what does that mean? Well, there's been talk, and it's been credible sources, through ESPN reporters have been reporting that Alabama is in talks with TCU to possibly play TCU in that first week of the season instead of USC. Now, why would that work out? Well, TCU is scheduled to go to Cal that same week. So obviously, if Cal and USC aren't playing, it makes sense for Alabama and TCU to play. TCU is right there. I mean, they're less than 20 minutes from AT&T Stadium. Makes perfect sense for them. It's basically a home game. They don't have to travel. They don't have to stay in a hotel. And for Alabama, really, I mean, if they have a chartered flight, they'd be getting back late, but they don't have to stay in a hotel. They could fly in that morning, play the game, and fly back that night. It makes for a long day, but they could do it without having to stay in a hotel. And at this point, I think that's one of the concerns is the travel and how long to stay in a hotel and things like that. So that would kind of make some sense. Hasn't happened. It's not 100% yet, but that's what they're looking at. So we'll have to stay tuned to see if that happens or materializes. Going into the season right now, it's the media has kind of made Trevor Lawrence the Heisman heir apparent to the Heisman. You got people making comments and comparisons on TV, online about, is Trevor Lawrence better than Joe Burrow? And you know what? Joe Burrow won the championship. They beat Clemson. Me personally, I think Joe Burrow is a better quarterback, but some of these people in the media, they anointed him along with Tua several years ago, and so these guys have such big egos they can't really admit when they're wrong. So in my opinion, Burrow's a better quarterback than Trevor Lawrence. But Trevor Lawrence for this upcoming season, he's the guy. I mean, unless somebody steps up, and that's always possible because I think Justin Fields is going to have a heck of a season at Ohio State as well. You have some guys that could jump out of there. I'll tell you somebody else to watch out for he might be a Heisman contender, and I know some of you are going to laugh, but Kyle Trask at Florida, don't overlook him. People thought I was crazy 2 years in 2018 when I said that Joe Burrow could win the Heisman in 2019, and he did. Worked out for me, obviously, but don't overlook him. And there's a few others out there that could step up that aren't right now in the spotlight who could be making waves in 2020. Let's see here. But I will say this, no matter what happens in 2020, in the future, I mean, obviously, the stats for this upcoming season are not going to compare with previous seasons and past. So when you're trying to talk about who had a better season, this and that, you got to just remember the kids that play in 2020 are at a big disadvantage in a lot of ways. So just keep that in mind. So when you see people maybe not having the stats you expect them to have, tone it down. Don't get too harsh on them because, there's a lot of things are different this year. So we'll have to look at that. I'm just looking here. Pretty much covered, I think, what I wanted to cover. Yeah, so. Yeah, I think that's about it for now. So I'm anxious to see what happens. I want to try to do at least one video a week to keep up with the latest news around college football because everything is changing rapidly. I mean, almost by the day. But let's keep our fingers crossed that we have a college football season this year, that it's a great season, and that we can get back to gambling, to making our picks, to doing all the things we want to do. Again, it's just really sad to me that the XFL folded. That's a separate issue, but that's gone. Now we're back to just college football and the NFL. I do think that pro sports is going to play, NFL is going to play, and I don't really think they'll even shorten their season. I know that the only thing that they have done is canceled all their international games, their overseas trips. So the NFL will not be doing that traveling, which is a good thing because, frankly, I think it was, even before all this coronavirus stuff started, I thought it was too much for those players anyway. I thought it was ridiculous that teams are having to travel to Europe or Mexico City or places to play. Keep them home. If you want to do NFL Europe again, do it. And if you want to take the Super Bowl champion and have them play in March, have them play a game against the World League champion or the NFL Europe champion, and you want to call that winner the world champion, so be it. But I just think that keep our guys here, keep them home. We don't need that travel right now. So that's all I have. If you haven't, please subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, like this video, comment. I'll answer as many comments as I can. If there's anything overlooked, please comment. If there's anything you want me to talk about in the next video, leave a comment. Let me know. I'll get to as many of those as possible. Thank you guys, all the fans that we have, the over 5,000 subscribers that tune in and watch our videos. We really appreciate you, and we appreciate all the support we get, and we are just waiting and patiently, I'd say almost impatiently, for the season to start. So thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.